Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is still August the 20th. I'm doing this show for the games on the 21st. It's only one game for tonight, which is the Dallas Wings and the LA Sparks. So we'll see how that game goes. It hasn't even kicked off yet. I just wanted to go ahead and knock this video out for tomorrow since I had a chance to dive into these games a little bit earlier. So we're going to jump right into it. No recap because I didn't bet the Dallas game. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I'll bet something live, but it's a late game, so we'll see, once it actually starts. As far as Jackson had one play today, which was Haley Jones under her points. We don't know how that's going to turn out, but Jackson did like her under her 8.5 points. As far as problems for tomorrow, asked Jackson for two favorite player props. Asked for one favorite player prop. Jackson actually likes Sonia Citron under her 3.5 assists. It says that her recent performance, she's consistently been staying under this line, under an 80% of her last 5 games, 80% of her last 10 games. She's averaging 3.3 assists and 3.1 assists respectively. Her season average of 2.4 is below the 3.5 line, with an 82.86% hit rate to the under this season. Against the Connecticut Sun, she's gone under in 2 of the 3 matchups so far. Road performances, she stayed under the line in 76.4% of her games, averaging just 2.7 assists. So Jackson likes Sonia Citron under her 3.5 assists. Definitely shop around. Make sure you guys can get the best number. But that's what Jackson likes for tomorrow as far as player props go. Link is always in the description if you guys want to check Jackson out for MLB, NFL, which is right around the corner, or WNBA. So make sure you guys are tapped in with Jackson. Let's get into the games. The first one is the Washington Mystics and the Connecticut. Let's try that again. The first one is the Washington Mystics and the Connecticut Sun. The game will be played in Connecticut. So these teams, of course, just played. And I'm not gonna lie, watching the Mystics, go out there and struggle against the Connecticut Sun, specifically in the second quarter. I think they scored like 12 points. Just kept turning the ball over. Connecticut looked like they were the top 5, top 3 defense in the WNBA. But that's what the Mystics do, right? And I guess I should have known better. The offense had looked really, really good the games before. I thought that they could keep it up against the worst defensive team in the WNBA. They absolutely couldn't. So this game, it makes it difficult. I don't want to just run back to the window because Connecticut, because Washington lost the last game and say, well, Washington's going to bounce back in this one. If they couldn't beat them at home, I mean, Connecticut's been playing a lot better at home. So I noted the numbers at 2. I'm be honest. I probably won't touch the game. Probably won't touch the side. Won't touch the total. Washington is still a super young team. They kind of little fools go. I thought that they could. I thought that they were motivated to make the playoffs as well. If they had won that game, they would have been a little bit closer. Closer to the Seattle Storm, which they actually got the Seattle Storm coming up as well. So I thought, they were trying to do that. But then, I listened to the comments from Coach Sidney Johnson, and he says, they haven't even talked about the playoffs, quote unquote. They haven't talked about the playoffs. They haven't put that word on the board, is what he said. So I don't know. Washington kind of put themselves in a tough spot though, because they got a tough schedule coming up. They got Vegas, they got Seattle, they got a game in New York against the Liberty. So they kind of needed that game against Connecticut. Connecticut has nothing to play for, but they have covered 3 in a row. They've been playing a little bit better defense. Offense still struggles. 3 of their last 4 have gone under the total. They are 2-0. The Connecticut Sun are against the spread when they're facing the same opponent in back-to-back games so far this season. But they were getting 18.5 points against the Storm earlier this season and 11.5 against the Liberty. And now you kind of expect them to win the game. So I don't know, man. I don't trust the Mystics, though. I thought I was going to be able to trust them. Not even in a bounce back spot do I want to trust them. I will say, last thing I'll say about this game, Stephanie Dawson, I forgot to mention injury report. Stephanie Dawson's off the injury report. She missed the last one. JC Sheldon, who just got traded from the Connecticut Sun, will not play in this game. She's already been ruled out for tomorrow. And last point of interest that I think should even be noted about this game is that I think I know Connecticut is one of, if not the only team so far this season that hasn't won back-to-back games. They're 0-6 straight up if they're coming off a game where they won in general. So not a revenge spot, but just if they lost if they won their most recent game, they have not had 2 back-to-back wins all season. So we'll see how that goes. I don't even have a lean, if I'm being honest. I would like to think the Mystics could bounce back, but if they wet the bed again, it wouldn't surprise me, especially with Connecticut being at home. That's my thought process. Let's move into the next game. We got and no player props either, but if I'm betting anything, it's probably Sonia Citron. I know nobody on the Mystics can really score the basketball, outside of the two rookies, in my opinion, her and Kiki Iriafen. I probably just bet on Sonia Citron again if I'm betting player props, but her points to go over. All right, next game is the Lynx and the Liberty. Well, not Lynx and the Liberty. This should not say Lynx. This should say, I thought I updated. I guess I did not. This should say Sky and the Liberty. So the Sky will be in New York. They are getting 14.5 points. And the total, I think, is 164.5 or 165 right now. Let's just double check that. Yeah, mostly 165, so 165.5. The spread is, consensus is 14 and a half, about the same. So this line did open with the New York Liberty laying 11 points, and it's up to 14. I checked the injury report, and Izzy Harris is still out. Of course, there's no Stewie yet. She isn't back yet. Sabli's without a timetable to return, but Kennedy Burke did play in that last game against the Lynx. She looked pretty good, and they got the win. On the other side, Angel Reese came back to go with, Ariel Atkins and Haley Van Lith. They're all listed as probable for this game tomorrow as well. It's interesting. Chicago, the worst offensive rated team in the last 5 games, last 10 games, they get Angel Reese back and get to 88 points. And that's the only way I would play this one. I would only play it up and over. Chicago does have double revenge in this game. They lost by 25 the first time they played against the Liberty. They lost by 19 the second time. Chicago's been trash, of course. They're 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games. But first game back, Angel Reese comes back and they get a cover. They don't win, of course, against Seattle. They give up 98 points, but they do get a cover. And I mean, the Liberty's offense is a lot better than Seattle. Liberty also play a lot faster, so the no-brainer play would be the over. This total opened at 161.5, and it's up to 165.5. I definitely agree with that movement. As far as the spread, this is one where I'm probably just gonna stay away from. I know Chicago's been absolutely terrible. I get it; they're only 2-8, but in the games that Angel Reese has played, they've actually looked pretty good. And you put Angel Reese out there with Ariel Atkins, that's a lot more offense, which is why I kind of lean more towards the over. The New York Liberty are in a little bit of a sandwich spot as well. Outside of them covering just 2 of their last 10 games, they're 2-7-1 against the number. They finally got their revenge that they absolutely needed against the Lynx after losing back-to-back games to the Lynx. They probably feel like they can exhale a little bit, but not too fast because they got a game in Atlanta against the Dream on Saturday. So potential look-ahead spot, especially based on seeding. I've been talking a lot about seeding, both teams trying to, lock up that number 2 seed as they come down the home stretch. So, the Liberty are only they're not a good team laying double digits at the crib, especially without Stewie. I could see them potentially overlooking the Sky since they've beaten them already twice this season. I kind of like to watch the Mystics overlook the Connecticut Sun in their last game. But since the All-Star break, a lot of the games without Stewie, the Libs have been laying double digits. They've covered 1 game of the last 6. So they're 1-5 against the number as a double-digit favorite since the All-Star break. That tells me the bigger this line gets, the more I potentially may want to take the points with Chicago, not lay it with the Liberty, even though Chicago's going to turn the ball over a lot. The Liberty should be able to score a lot, which is why we go back to the over. So if I'm betting the game, I'm probably betting over or nothing in this one. Next one up is the Lynx and so I didn't change this either, clearly. This is Lynx and the Dream. So Lynx versus Dream. This line sits at 2. It looks like it's consensus, but I do see some 3s. I see a 2.5 as well. And the total 159.5 at the recording of this video. I see up to 160 on a couple books as well. So whatever it is that you like, make sure you're shopping around to get the best. You guys can see the numbers, right? First best team in offense, defensive net rating versus the second best team in offensive, defensive, and net rating. Both of these teams do play pretty slow, but they can be super efficient. So this is a game where I do kind of like the Lynx. Couple of different reasons. You look at the injury report. I know Nafisha Collier is coming back, which could, kind of throw off the rhythm of this Minnesota Lynx team. But I like the spot for them a little bit better. First of all, you love the Lynx off a loss. They're perfect 6-0 straight up, 5-1 against the spread, coming off a loss this season. But they also have revenge because last time they played against Atlanta, these two teams are tied. The road team has won both games so far this season. The Minnesota Lynx took the first one in Atlanta. I think the game went to overtime. And then the most recent one, which was about 2 weeks ago, Atlanta was able to get some revenge against Minnesota. That game was played without Nafisa Collier. Fee's one of those players. I feel like the Lynx were not going to rush her back. So could she look a little rusty? Yeah, I think she could. But at the same time, like the Atlanta Dream defense is really good also. So, I mean, that could make her look even more rusty. Outside of that, though, she's an excellent defensive player. And I don't think the Minnesota Lynx will rush her back. So I think if Fee is, I know she's listed as questionable, but even if she does play, I don't think Fee is the type of player that's going to throw the offense off. The way that Cheryl Reeves has her players cutting and screening and, a heavy, pick and roll type team, I just feel like she'll find the spots. And I think that they situationally are in a much better spot than Atlanta. For this Atlanta team, not that they don't need to win, but they kind of ran out of gas late in the fourth quarter against the Aces 2 nights ago. So now you got them first game back home after a 2-game road trip. They played 5 of their last 6 games on the road as well. And offensively, they've struggled. 6 straight unders for the Atlanta Dream. They really struggled to score the basketball. And now they're playing against the best defensive team in the WNBA coming off a loss. To me, that makes a lot of sense to take Minnesota in this game. It opened 1.5. And not that, CLV means anything at all, but they actually opened 1. Not that CLV means anything at all, but I do think that this one is moving in the right direction. I think Minnesota can go in Atlanta and get a W. Yeah, I think so. That would be the way that I would play this one. I have not bet it yet, but that's the side that I want to be on, Minnesota for me. Last game on the board, the Mercury and the Aces. This one will be played in Las Vegas. It's hot in Vegas, man. The Aces are absolutely on fire right now. I think, as far as I saw, pretty clean injury report for both teams. The Aces are laying, it looks like 2. I see I wrote 2.5. I'm not sure why I did that. But it looks like the Aces are laying 2 in this spot. And this total is accurate. 168.5 is what it's at. Got bet up 3 points already. Open 165.5 is what I see. So this is another game where I kind of feel like a team could potentially run out of gas. And I think that would be the Mercury in this spot. They do have double revenge because the Aces went into Phoenix and beat them. And then the Aces also beat them at home. No, Aces also went to beat the Mercury the last 2 times, both in Phoenix. And the game that was played in Vegas was the only one that the Mercury won. And that game was without Asia Wilson. She did not play in that game. So, I mean, the Aces are hard to fade. I tried to fade them in the last game, and I'm guessing I still think they should have lost. But Atlanta ran out of gas. They only scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. The Mercury are in a very similar spot to the Aces. And if you go back and watch the last video, if you remember what I said in the last video on why I like the Dream, one of the reasons why, I was giving the Aces their proper respect, but I said that the Aces were comfortably at the crib, and that's where they are again in this game. They catch the Mercury in this spot, in the same spot that they catch that they caught the Dream in. This will be third straight road game for the Dream. They're coming off back-to-back really tough wins. They barely beat Seattle in Seattle. Then they go to Golden State. They win by 7. I just kind of feel like, and it's the front end of a back-to-back. I forgot to mention that. They play Golden State tomorrow. Golden State will be waiting for them in Phoenix tomorrow when they return home. So I know the Mercury are hooping right now. They're one of the better defensive rated teams, but how could you bet against the Aces right now? They won 8 straight games. This is the last game of a 3-game homestand for them. They played, like I said, 5 of their last 6 games at the crib, and they're absolutely destroying everybody right now. Like the Aces they're on one. They're beating the good teams. They're beating the bad teams. They're beating everybody. And I don't really want to bet against them right now. So I think that they can get the job done. I think that this Mercury team is really good, but I also think that they rely heavily on 3-point shots. And the Aces are top 3 in the WNBA in the last 5 games, pretty much in every category. But they're definitely one of the better 3-point defenses in the WNBA. I like that they're rebounding the basketball. They're protecting the basketball. Finally getting something from Chelsea Gray, who I don't know, maybe she was just waiting to the end of the season to turn it on, but Asia is absolutely dominant right now. I actually wanted to bring up Asia. If we go over and look at Moneyball real quick, I want to do this real quick because I thought about it in the last game. It made a lot of sense to just, even if you don't want to bet the game, you came looking for some player props. Like this is the one you want, right? So we go to Moneyballer, link in the description if you guys want to check it out. Boom, she actually at the top. We look at Asia. We look at her points. She's listed at 24.5. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. You can see the numbers here, right? Over in 7 of her last 10 games, but 3 straight games she's had 30 plus. Like 4 of her last 5 games she's had 30 plus. So I mean, yes, the Phoenix Mercury are a really good defensive team, but I think she can get busy tomorrow. And you can see the 2 games that she played against Phoenix this season. Well, I'm sorry, the 2 games she played against Phoenix this season. This was the first one that they went in to Phoenix, and they won that game by 3 as a 6-point dog. I remember being on Phoenix in that spot. And then the most recent one that she played in, she had 30 as well. So you can see here, I mean, this dates back to last season. She, typically plays this team really, really well. They don't have a big that they're going to be able to throw at her. I just feel like A'ja kind of locked in right now. You can look at her, if we just go back to her points, you look at her last 5 games, come down here, look at some of the numbers, 34 minutes, 49% from the field, getting to the free throw line a ton, shooting 92% from the free throw line, 10.4 attempts per game, and she's getting up, close to 20 shots a game as well. So I like this. I think it'll be a closely contested game. So A'ja makes a lot of sense, in my opinion, to just continue eating. I like A'ja a lot in this game, and I know they're gonna run a lot of plays for her as well. So if I'm betting this one, I like Aces and at the crib, and I like A'ja over her points. That's what I would play for these games tomorrow. So short list is here. I guess I didn't add A'ja, but her points prop at 24.5. I think you just continue to fade it, right? You just fade it, you just play it, or you just stay out the way. But over 24.5 points just makes too much sense not to look at. But yeah, over in the Chicago, New York game, Minnesota money line, Vegas money line, or you take a minus the 2. At this point, when I see a 2 or a 3, especially with how janky the WNBA is, I'm like, give me the money line. And then A'ja over her points will be my top looks for tomorrow, man. I hope you guys find a lot of success tomorrow in the WNBA. And if you're still watching, I do appreciate you. Appreciate you for riding with me through this janky WNBA season where I've lost money and it sucks, but you got to stay in there though, right? You got to stay in the fight. Yeah, you get, behind the scenes, I'm like air punching holes in the wall, but you stay the course, man. I've never been a quitter. So we're going to keep riding out throughout the WNBA season, and hopefully we can get our money back that the bookies got right now as well, man. Check out the resources if you guys are interested. Support the channel with the like button for me if you can. Subscribe to the channel if you guys can as well. And turn the notification bell on so you guys know when I go live. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Friday does bring us 3 more games. So, enjoy your Thursday, man. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Come on.